So we're supposed to be getting a Switch 2 version of Cyberpunk 2077 on June 5th, I believe, because that's the day that the Switch 2 console comes out. I'm not exactly sure whether or not it's going to be it's going to be one of those deals where you can get a bundle version or whether or not you have an option to just get the game by itself. I'm hoping there's a bundle version with the Switch 2 console, but the game itself is definitely coming out in June, and it's something that people have mixed, feelings about because Cyberpunk 2077 is kind of old, but at the same time, it's a game that I don't know. It's a game that some people are saying is one of the best RPGs of the 2020s decade. But then there's another group of people who feel like it's highly overrated. But I think it really depends on what you look for in an RPG game. Me personally, I'm surprised that this game is on or it's coming to the Switch too, considering the fact that it's M rated. And and not only that, I mean, like the game has already did like 30 million in terms of sales and I think the game came out for the PlayStation 5 in like late 2020. So I'm pretty sure the price for this game on the PlayStation 5 has dropped, significantly since its release. But the version of Cyberpunk 2077 we're supposed to be getting on the Switch 2 is the Ultimate Edition. So it wouldn't surprise me if the game ended up having like a ridiculous price tag. I don't feel like it should be priced on the same level as like Mario Kart World, which is like $80 or what have you. I don't think it should be that expensive. I think $60 would be a reasonable price, but I don't know. I mean, it's not my decision to make. This game is it's going to be a big deal because it's going to be using Nvidia's DLSS. And for those who don't know what that means, it's basically an acronym for deep learning super sampling. So it's an AI powered upscaling type of technology that improves the performance of the game itself, along with how the images and the graphics look. So I feel like that game is going to look way better on the Switch 2 than people, think it's going to look. And and that's something that doesn't surprise me because the Switch 2 is supposed to be as powerful as the PlayStation 4. And even though Nintendo seems to be like one generation behind compared to Sony and Microsoft in terms of like console graphics, I do feel like this is something that a lot of people might possibly check out because I feel like it might be one of those things where people will buy this game, they'll try to scalp it and sell it for double its price or what have you. And and I know for a fact, like, Switch 2 games are most likely going to be very expensive due to like the tariffs and all that stuff. And I do feel like it's going to be a game that people might go out of their way to buy when it first comes out on the Switch 2 because they want to cop it before the price spikes. And that's not just for this game, it's for all the like Switch 2 games, whether it's Mario Kart World, whether it's Donkey Kong Bonanza, whether it's Kirby Air Riders. A lot of people are going to be copping the Switch 2 along with the games that's going to be appearing on the Switch 2 before July. And and yeah, I mean, I feel like Cyberpunk 2077, it's a game that is somewhat overrated and it was, heavily hyped for damn near a decade before it was released. It's a game that had like a rocky launch and people were complaining about the bugs and the glitches and all that stuff. But then again, the original version of the game did come out in 2020, and that was probably like one of the worst years in human history ever. Since CD Projekt Red had fixed the bugs and the glitches and all that stuff, it had gotten a Metascore of 86, but a user score of 7.2. So obviously, a lot of people feel like that game is overrated. But I do find it interesting that we're getting an M-rated game on the Switch 2. The question is how many people are going to be able to afford it and how much it's going to sell because I do know that these new policies in relation to foreign goods is going to have a detrimental impact on the sales of this game along with the sales of the Switch 2. It's going to have a detrimental impact on the industry in general, but But yeah, I mean, I do feel like Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be it's going to be a game that a lot of people are going to be intrigued by if they haven't already played it. I never thought I would see a game like this on a Nintendo console because when you look at Nintendo in general, you don't see too many high profile third party RPGs on Nintendo consoles. So I feel like this is a big deal in that sense. And I don't think the official price for the Switch 2 version of Cyberpunk 2077 has been listed just yet. As far as initial sales are concerned, I'm expecting at least a million within like the first month or so. But I don't know. That's just a prediction on my part. We're just gonna have to sit back and wait and see what happens.